To put it simply, no. The Miami Heat will not sweep the Atlanta Hawks, and that's only because of the greatness of Trae Young. He is that good, and the first player in NBA history since Nate Archibald to lead the NBA in total points and assists. We're talking about a guy that just averaged 28 and 9, was an all-star starter for the Eastern Conference, and so I'm not going to downplay his greatness. I'm going to show him some respect. I'm going to give him some of his flowers, and I know the Atlanta Hawks are very hobbled right now. They are without one of the best rebounders in the game, in Clint Capela. They are without their best big man in it, Clint Capela, who is such an interior force on the inside for the Atlanta Hawks. And so without him, they definitely don't have much of a shot. Now, if he was alongside of Trae Young and healthy and in the lineup, then I'd probably give the Atlanta Hawks 2 games, maybe even 3 games. But because he's not there, because John Collins is not 100%, then I think Miami ultimately prevails in this series. Actually, no, I won't even touch on that. Wait till the end of this episode before I do touch on that. But I do not think the Miami Heat will sweep the Atlanta Hawks, and that is due to the greatness of a Trae Young. I'm your host, Calvin-Domingo, a.k.a. Steezy A. Smith, and now with the NBA playoffs back in full swing, and because I'm a Miami Heat guy, then expect a lot more Miami Heat and NBA playoff content on this channel. Without further ado, let's dive right into it, shall we? As we know, the Miami Heat absolutely blitzed the Atlanta Hawks in Game 1 of the series, 115-91. Ironically, not only did the Heat win by 24 points, they made 8 more threes, or they scored 24 more points off of threes than the Atlanta Hawks. Miami made 18 to Atlanta's 10. So they won by 24 and scored 24 more points by way of threes. I think the math and the logic is simple there. Not only that, I think another dynamic to consider heading into Game 2 is the fact that Bam Adebayo felt like he was snubbed from the NBA Defensive Player of the Year finalist list. But when you look at the disparity in games played, he played 55. Rudy Gobert played more than that. Marcus Smart played 71. Mikal Bridges played all 82. And then going back to Rudy Gobert, he played 60 plus. Bam Adebayo only played 55. And so if he had played more games, he probably would have been in the discussion. But because he didn't, then he wasn't. But then again, somebody has to take the wrath of his anger, right? Somebody has to be on the receiving end of his anger. We talked about them before, but our good friend, Pine Sports, right? The best sports and analytics tool on the market, the best sports analytics tool on the internet, right? And so this time around, we use our good friend, Pine Sports, to determine whether or not we should take the over or the under on a couple of different player prop lines. I'm talking about Trae Young, who has a prop line of 26.5. I would say I would absolutely smash the over on 26.5, like we witnessed in Game 1. 0 for 7 from 3, 1 for 12 from the field, a season low 8 points. That is not going to happen again. Now, I understand Miami's defense did finish top 5 in the NBA in terms of least amount of points allowed, in terms of defensive rating. And outside of Trae Young, there really isn't another shot creator / initiator on the Atlanta Hawks. But nevertheless, like I did mention at the top of the show, Trae Young is just that damn good. He is going to smash the over on the 26.5 as is provided by Pine Sports. And as you can see on the chart in front of me. Now for the Miami Heat, another over that I do like is Bam Adebayo. His player prop line, 18.5. I'm taking the over. Now, I know the chart in front of me, courtesy of Pine Sports, is saying take the under because when you look at his last 10 games, he actually has failed to hit the over on some of those lines. I got to say, then again, he's angry. Somebody has to take the wrath of his anger. And with the Atlanta Hawks having an Onyeka Okongwu matched up against him, I know he is being compared to Bam Adebayo, but he's a smaller version. He's 6'8", 240 to Bam's 6'9", 255 plus pound frame. He's not going to be enough. He's going to be overmatched against the likes of a Bam Adebayo. And I know Bam didn't have the greatest of games in Game 1. Look for him to bounce back. Look for him to take advantage of what Atlanta does not have in the interior right now. They have a gaping hole in the interior. Now, I know John Collins did return in Game 1 to put up 10 points. I don't know if he's 100%. And I like Kevin Huerter. I like DeAndre Hunter. I like Danilo Gallinari. But these guys right now are role players, nothing more and certainly nothing less. And so I don't expect them to be able to carry enough of a load to be able to will Atlanta to any more than 2 victories in the series. Now with Miami, there is a couple of areas that they can stand to improve on. I don't expect Duncan Robinson to set another franchise record in a postseason with 8 threes. I don't see him making more than that, but he certainly can't explode any given moment. But with Miami, 15 turnovers, I don't expect that to continue. Miami is one of the best teams in the NBA at taking care of the basketball. Not only that, they finished top 5 in the NBA in free throw percentage. They shot 61.1% from the free throw line, 11 for 18. I absolutely do not expect that to continue. And so Miami blitzing the Atlanta Hawks to the tune of 24 points, and they shot poorly from the free throw line, and they turned it over 15 times. What can we expect for an encore in game 2? Well, maybe things kind of neutralize just a little bit. Like I said, I do see Trae Young regressing back to the mean. He's not just going to have 8 points and make 1 field goal. I mean, come on now. They were fatigued, heavily fatigued heading into game 1. They just weren't ready for that game. And they got outmatched. They were outdueled. They were out-physicaled. What else? You name it. Miami literally checked off every single box in the stat category, with the only one that they really lost was a free throw battle. Going back to the regular season, the Atlanta Hawks actually 16-25 on the road, although they did finish second to the Miami Heat in three-point shooting at 37.4%, and Miami finished actually first in the NBA three-point shooting percentage at just a shade under 38 at 37.9% from 3. Miami's able to hold up, and they're able to switch everything like they usually do throughout the course of the year. I think their defense is going to be way too suffocating against the likes of a Trae Young. Now, Trae Young will go get his. I expect him to put up, like I said, over 26.5 points. I wouldn't be surprised if he puts up a 30-point double-double, but I don't expect him to have very much help alongside of him. Like I talked about, the Miami Heat defense is not only great because of the talent that they have defensively, they have everyone on the floor could switch. Now, one of the reasons why Max Strus was inserted into the starting lineup was because he offers more defensive upside, and he's a lot better defensively than a Duncan Robinson. He could hold his own. Jimmy Butler, one of the best perimeter defenders in the game. Kyle Lowry, Bam Adebayo can switch onto guards. PJ Tucker. So there's a plethora of bodies that the Miami Heat can continue to throw in Trae Young's direction. They can continue to suffocate him in those pick and rolls, and without his pick and roll crime partner in a Clint Capela, Atlanta's offense is that much more one-dimensional. Now, if Miami's able to blitz and get the ball out of Trae Young's hands, who do you expect to step up offensively for the Atlanta Hawks? Like I said, none of these other guys are lead shot creators / shot initiators / playmakers for others. And so if you take a Trae Young out of the game, you essentially take the Atlanta Hawks out of the game as well. Now, the Atlanta Hawks do have a chance to win a game 2 just because Trae Young is most definitely going to be playing a better game. They're probably not going to be as fatigued like they were heading into game 1, and they are going to be motivated, knowing that if they fall into an 0-2 hole heading into Atlanta, they probably won't have much of a shot to win the series. But I think ultimately Miami's too good defensively. They have too many bodies to throw at a Trae Young. They have way too much depth. They have more star power. They are healthier. They have the better head coach. And then again, they do have home court advantage, and they are the #1 seed for a reason. I don't expect them to go off from 3 like they did, but they can on any given night just because of the amount of shooters that they have on the court. I mean, for crying out loud, Victor Oladipo had a DNP-CD, coach's decision. And so with him not even getting minutes, that speaks, and that's a testament to the amount of depth that the Miami Heat are currently possessed. And with all those advantages in play, I think ultimately the Miami Heat win this series in 5, 4, 1. With the only game Atlanta really getting because of a Trae Young. And if it doesn't happen in game 2, it'll probably happen in game 3 or 4, but I think the series is already over. Miami wins 4-1. Game 2 will be tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time or 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time. For those of you guys that are wanting to tune in, be sure to place your bets before, obviously, the games tip off. And shout out to our good friend Pine Sports. As you guys already are aware, they are the best sports analytics tool on the internet, and they are going to be the next big thing. And we already carry Siri. We already talked to Alexa, right? Pine Sports, that's going to be your tool for all things sports analytics. That marks the end of this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I talked about at the top of the show, be sure to expect, or you will expect, a lot more NBA content as the NBA playoffs are now in full swing. If you aren't already, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a like. Don't forget to also follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, at SteezySmith. We've been working very diligently to push out even more content on those platforms, so you guys don't miss out. Be sure to follow us at SteezySmith. As always, all glory to God. Nothing but love, y'all. Gratitude. Steezy out, y'all. Amen. Again, this video is going to be dedicated to Mr. Todd Nas. While that concludes this video, we have loads of other content. You don't have to stop watching there. Other content on our channel homepage, as well as our social media platforms. And again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for us. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Nothing but love, and Steezy out.